All right, what's up, everyone? Today I'm joined by Carolina Panthers tight end Colin Thompson. Thompson attended Archbishop Wood High School and began his college career playing at Florida before an injury led him to transfer to Temple, which was the only university to offer him a scholarship. As a senior, Colin had 3 receptions for 43 yards and a touchdown and helped the team finish 10-4. Thompson caught 19 passes for 208 yards and a touchdown for the Owls, and he earned a degree in media and communications. Thompson went undrafted in the 2017 NFL Draft, but he signed with the New York Giants as a free agent. Then the Chicago Bears signed Thompson to a reserve/futures contract on January 2nd, 2018. In 2019, he joined the Birmingham Iron of the Alliance of American Football. He played tight end and special teams with the Iron before the league folded after Week 8. Thompson was next selected by the Tampa Bay Vipers of the XFL in the open phase of the 2020 XFL Draft on October 16, 2019. On April 27, 2020, the Carolina Panthers signed Thompson, reuniting him with former Temple head coach Matt Rule and former Temple teammates P.J. Walker, Robbie Anderson, and Keith Kirkwood. Thompson scored a touchdown on the first touch of his NFL career, a pass from Teddy Bridgewater in the first quarter of Carolina's Week 10 matchup against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He recently signed a future contract with the Panthers on January 10th, 2022. Thompson also worked as a host on 97.3 ESPN Radio and a sideline reporter for Temple Owls football games. He recently started up his own sports podcast called Not For Long Media, where he posts weekly episodes. Thank you so much for joining me today, Colin, and happy Easter.
Wow, that was a hell of an interview. You make me sound really good at times and then really bad at times with my 3 catches my senior year in college. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. So first one I have here, what did you learn from playing football at Archbishop Wood, and how did this help prepare you for your college career?
Well, I wouldn't be in the NFL. I wouldn't have played college football at the higher level that I was able to play it at if I did not go to Archbishop Wood. On and off the field, there was an unbelievable decision that I made in the sense that if I didn't go there again, I don't know if we'd be talking right now. It's the best thing that ever happened to me when it comes to just educationally, the football program, the basketball program, all the things, the activities, the leadership, athletes helping athletes, all the different things I was involved in school. I was really lucky to be a part of, and just had an absolute blast getting an education, first class, and then playing for one of the best football programs in Pennsylvania history in Archbishop Wood. I was so lucky to be a part of that and the long legacy of great players that came through Wood and has continued on now with their current team. So I was going to be coached by some awesome people, and Steve Devlin, Mike Carey, James Gillespie, Colin Gillespie's dad. The list goes on and on. Kurt Stengel. Man, I like to give everyone their due. Coach Holman, Chip Ross, Tommy White Jr. and Senior. So I played for some really good programs. The youth program I played for, Our Lady of Mount Carmel, Romans, Ryan Archidiakono played for that team as well. And all those Romans coaches came with us over to Archbishop Wood. So just some great coaches, some great players, some awesome memories. And without those coaches and those players, I wouldn't be able to be where I'm at today. So I'm very grateful, very thankful to Archbishop Wood.
Awesome. Explain your experience at Temple University and how playing there shaped your football career today.
Yeah, it was the best thing that ever happened to me, and I really didn't know it yet. I fought it for years, and I didn't want to leave University of Florida. I met my now wife. I met, 75% of my friends now in this world, and played for some awesome coaches down there, and Will Muschamp and Coach Lewis, and just a great group of people. And to leave there, I was absolutely devastated. So to go to Temple, again, wouldn't be talking to you today if I did not. They allowed me time to get healthy. Coach Rule put his trust in the trainers and myself to get myself ready to go. Went on to, win 6 games, 10 games, back-to-back years, a conference championship, lost in the conference championship to Houston the year before, which could have been, talent-wise, one of the best teams Temple's ever had with guys like Tavon Young, Matt Ioannidis, Tyler Medikevich, some really good players that left, and my senior ended up winning it without them, which is crazy. We lost a lot of good players, but shows the depth that we had. And now, 20 plus players in the NFL, CFL, maybe 30 plus just from that team alone. So a lot of really good players that have had continued careers and made a lot of money for themselves. So, long story short, it's been the best thing that ever happened to me as well. I'm very blessed to go to two great places.
Yeah, that's great. Have you kept in touch with Temple's football program? And, with Stan Drayton and the start of a new era, what are your expectations for this team for the coming years?
I have been in touch with the program, and it's been an awesome transition from what it was previously to what it is now. And Coach Drayton and his staff have been nothing but first class. I went there February 1st to watch a winter workout, which are usually the hardest times of the year. It's before spring ball. It's after the season. There's really no, future in that sense where, hey, you don't know where you're going or what you're up to because you're so far away from the season. And those kids worked so hard. Coach Drayton and his staff were so gracious. I was able to hang out with the program all morning long and be able to really be around some awesome people that they've added to the program. So long story short, I love the direction of the program. I'm excited to see where it is headed. Coach Drayton and his staff have been first class, like I've said many times before. They have reached out to me. They've reached out to my teammates to reach out to alumni, trying to get everyone to the spring game and get everyone back involved in the program where we really lost connection with the previous staff. So unbelievable stuff from their staff, and I'm looking forward to continued success. I've only heard great things internally.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I'm looking forward to it myself and the season that they'll have this upcoming year. So how has it been like playing for the Panthers, and what was it like scoring your first career touchdown in the NFL? As I mentioned, your first touch too.
Unbelievable. Yeah. We came out of the huddle and Ian Thomas kind of tapped me on the hip and he said, wow, they called it. And they did call it. It's our little fake run play that we always ran, and we continued to run it in Carolina. And I just bluffed the player. It was all set up that way. And Teddy Bridgewater flipped it up in the air. The wind caught the ball, so it started to spiral a little bit like a punt. But, yeah, great throw, great execution by everybody. Awesome play call, obviously. It was a lot of fun. And a moment I'll never forget. Really, I'm a culmination of all the great coaches, players, teammates, operations staff, equipment staff, trainers, surgeons, everyone who's kind of propped me up and helped me along the way. So to have a touchdown, to kind of have a bright spot of my career, hopefully that's not the pinnacle. Hopefully a Super Bowl, hopefully some more touchdowns, more big plays is the pinnacle. But in the early part of my kind of NFL career, getting my feet getting back into the league. It's an unbelievable moment for my wife, my family, our friends, a real public moment that everyone kind of gets to share.
For sure. That's definitely really exciting. And now switching over to the media side, what has it been like starting your own podcast and trying to grow it over the past few years?
It's been fun. We've gone from just a podcast where it's me to, as you're someone involved in it, to we have, 10 people, and we're looking to grow to 4 or 5 different podcasts, from a military podcast to 2 girls talking football and gambling to, not for long media and Breaking Bats, baseball and football. And we talk a little bit of everything. So we're covering a lot of different things, which I always wanted. I always wanted to start it as a podcast and then grow it to something bigger. I didn't know it ended up being some sort of a media company. That's where we're at now. So it's been so fun, on a personal level. I love my podcast. I'm biased, but we have a little bit of everybody on, from chefs to comics to Christian McCaffrey to Adam Schefter to Chris Long to Kyle Long to, so you have your football stars and your professors at Temple University. We have just all these different people on. So that's been really fun for me to keep the variety where it is, and also continue to push out good content. So it's been fun, like I said, from a podcast to a media company. It's been a pleasure.
Yep, that's awesome. What type of impact do you think you have made in the sports media industry as both a player and content creator now?
Wow. Well, I don't know. I don't know the impact. People like yourself, students, people just out of college, to get some advice and help them and learn from you guys. Learn from what you're learning. Learn from what you're being taught. Great classes. I know you work with people like John DiCarlo. I don't have a podcast without John DiCarlo. because alscoop.com is the reason why I started a podcast, because I was on their podcast frequently and I got to go in and kind of feel out what they were doing. And that's how I kind of started it when I got cut from the Giants. Started Not For Long Media because the NFL stands for Not For Long. And that's all really how it started. But, I don't know about where we stand and what I've carved out of the industry. I just know that it's been fun being an athlete, being involved in that, and propelling, our team in the right direction has been fun. I've gone from just a podcast now to some sort of leadership role to a podcaster. So I always wear these different hats. I've learned a ton, and especially from people like yourself and other people joining our pod.
Yeah, that's great. Who are some big names that you have interviewed on your podcast, and who do you plan on interviewing in the future?
So some big names that people maybe wouldn't know would be like a Sean Latham, the $20 chef, or Danny CEO, who's naturally Danny CEO on NBC. I ran off some names, Adam Schefter, obviously Christian McCaffrey is absolutely massive. We've had nutritionists on. Everyone asks, what's the dream interview? It's really a great question. I'll say this: we had Paul Ment on last week. He's a rum maker in Key West, Florida. So we have a lot of unique stuff, at least in my opinion. We've had golf reporters on to talk about the Masters. So for me, he's probably Jason Witten to be awesome to have him on. I think there's a lot of really great people out there. Everybody has a podcast now, so I don't know. It's a great question, but for me, I think Jason Witten would be my future big guest.
Yeah, that'd be great. All good stuff there. What does a day in your life entail, and how are you able to manage both the podcast and staying in shape for football, I guess, during the off season?
Yeah, it's definitely a hurdle in itself of trying to balance everything. But if you're disciplined with it, and you're constantly working it and staying into it, I think you can do it. Some days I'm doing some cardio and I'm on the bike. I'll have, our podcast on and I'm listening to things I can improve on, or I'm listening for social media clips we can make out of a podcast, or I'm shooting, people like yourself text or sending somebody a video, which I've done a ton of. My little signature voicemail for FaceTime, just a video to everybody of my thoughts. It's not even a long text. So it gets the point across concisely. People can hear my tone instead of a text, which sometimes can be misconstrued for another tone. So it's a great question. It's a heck of a balance, but it's been fun. I mean, in season we were doing 2 episodes, which is one more than we're doing now. So it's a fun juggle for me, and it's something I really enjoyed.
Yeah, that's awesome. Where do you see this podcast going in the next few years, and what is your overall vision for Not For Long Media in the coming years?
It's a great question. I always think about that. I try to stay in the moment and continue to be the best version of whatever the podcast hat I'm wearing now, because there's a lot to consume, it's a lot to think about. But for me, where do I see it going? I hope we can be established media company where we're bringing on talented people and people that care and are interested and want to be a part of what we're doing. And I think we could have the ability to continue to grow, develop, be innovative, try new things. That's where I see it going. I don't really have the answer of what it needs to look like or what it looks like, but there's some people that I look up to in the industry, like Barstool Sports, of what they've done as a media company, Action Park Media, what they've done as a media company, 2 media giants. There's a few other ones that I've really been down into as well. So yeah, continue to grow, continue to add good personalities, people that care, and see what the product is.
Mm-hmm. That's fantastic. What has been your favorite memory on the podcast, since you've been doing it for these last couple of years?
Wow. There's a lot of funny ones. I think when Adam Schefter's wife came in, and she cursed at Adam or something for, something about dinner or whatever. That was funny. He laughed. We laughed. I've had so many favorites, they're like kids, they're all your favorite, but you like some more than others. I like the one last week, Paul Menta, the legal rum distiller in Key West. That was so unique for us. He's talking about how rum's made and how hurricanes influence different rum flavoring, and how the community of Key West came together, a community that's near and dear to my heart and my family's heart. It came together during COVID, and all these different things. So that, that was cool because it hit home for me. There's so many unique ones that I've been able to do, and very fortunate.
Yeah, that's
It's
awesome.
a great question.
Yeah. Yeah, all interesting stuff there you had to say. And now it's time for some quick fire questions. So I'll fire them off and you answer. So first one I have here, Meek Mill or Lil Uzi?
Oh, Meek Mill.
For pizza, Philly style or Maxey's?
Philly style, big time. I love Maxey's though. You guys are great. Love you to death. But Philly style, man, is Coach Rule used to get Philly style for us Wednesday nights, and I used to devour their sausage pizza there. Well, their wings are great. So yeah, Philly style.
Yeah. Okay, I respect it. Best cheesesteak spot in the city that you've been to?
Great question. I think Jim's is really good. I think Jim's. I'm gonna go Jim's.
Okay, solid pick. Who's your go-to game day music artist or songs that'll get you hype before a game?
Yeah, so I have a different approach. I try to mellow out and do it like a normal day, and then go out and perform like I would for practice. So I listen to a band that I'm a big fan of. The intro music to our podcast. They're called Iration. They're like a reggae rock band. I listen to them. Slightly Stupid, Joe Sambo. I listen to Little Luke Combs every once in a while. Just stuff that I listen to individually. Walking on the street or driving in the car or whatever, just to try to make it as normal as possible.
Okay, I like it. And the last one I have here, what is your favorite city to play in?
Wow. That's a great question. I feel like I should know that off the top of my head. Other than Charlotte, because Charlotte's been great to us.
Yeah.
And Philly was, other than Philly, because I played there in college. Wow, this is bad radio, bad podcasting out of me. I would say this. I would say Tampa.
Okay.
Because I played in the XFL there. I played my first NFL game there. It's just near to my heart. I played a lot of games in there in college in Raymond James Stadium. Didn't win a lot of games there, but played a lot there. So I'll say Tampa. I like the city, love the city. Had a lot of fun there playing in the XFL.
Awesome. Well, that's all I have for you, Colin, but thank you so much again for taking the time to do this interview on this beautiful Easter Sunday, and best of luck with the Not For Long media podcast and everything you have going there. And, good luck for this upcoming season with the Carolina Panthers.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you having me on.
Yep. Take care, Colin. Thanks again.
All right, buddy. Talk soon.
Yes, sir.